Well, this is going to be great.
Welcome to the White House Pod with David A.R.
I'm gonna finish what I started.
It's not easy, but it's simple. Three-time Grammy nominee, K-Love Male Vocalist of the Year, and Dove Award winner. Sold millions and is also in the top 3 finalists of Season 8 of American Idol. Do you know who we're having on today?
I do, but I'm going to let you say it.
Well, all right.
That might be he doesn't know how to pronounce my name.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny
Gokey.
Danny, every morning when you get out of bed, do you just feel like you hear that applause? Are you like, can you visualize the American Idol audience just like, that very first time you were on stage and they just went crazy for you?
Okay, I guess, it's funny that you mentioned it because I've never visualized it since, but as you were saying it, dude, I kid you not, my mind was going right there. That was a pretty surreal experience. I forgot, it was crazy. Dude, I was just a worship leader before that, and then all of a sudden I'm on a stage of America and the whole world singing hit cover songs. I mean, come on.
Do you remember where that applause and that moment happened?
Well, I don't necessarily remember the applause anymore, but there's a few things that I can come up with. So what happens is they do all the
pre-things, yeah.
Yeah, the pre-things where you're going through the contest. And so I was sitting at Cheesecake Factory in Milwaukee, and they had just aired my episode the night before. And I'm out to lunch with some friends from church. And, man, listen, I was people coming up to me and coming up to me and coming up to me. At that
in
time,
Applebee's, or where were you?
Oh, Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, Cheesecake Factory, that's right. Applebee's
it was Applebee's budget, but I was at Cheesecake Factory. If you get what I'm saying,
I know you're high society. You had just been on American Idol, for crying out loud. You could afford cheesecake now.
Yeah, but I remember that, and I loved the interruptions. I loved it. Oh, I just felt like $1,000,000. And then going on when we went to the live show, and they would count down the.
Was it more than when you would get off the stage at church and all the people would always come up?
Yeah, I mean, at church, being the worship leader there consistently for years and having a place there. Yeah, I got, a lot of people were very appreciative and loving on me, but This was different. Now it was people that I didn't know, that I didn't go to church with. And that was a whole new level. I mean, I had lettuce in my teeth, taking pictures of people, just grinning ear to ear,
All right, so what is this recent accomplishment of surpassing 1.2 billion career streams? Like, how is that even tracked? How do people know it? And is this true?
I can confirm the rumor. It is 1.2 billion. Now, I know they have really cool systems that track all this. I'm not sure if people were intentionally trying to listen to my music, but it counted anyways. So there it is.
Bam! All right, so you start out as a worship leader. Where were we at this point? What state are you in?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. Are you a Green Bay Packer fan?
Yeah, 100. And you are too, right? Isn't everybody?
No, I am a Minnesota Viking fan.
Okay. Touche. Okay, I kind of like the Vikings because they used to always lose to us, and now they're a bunch of killers out there.
Yeah, we've
just
been
going hard.
Well, finally, you guys got rid of Aaron Rodgers so we could compete. Finally.
Well,
but
Aaron Rodgers. Never mind. We don't want. Man, what a. I met him after American Idol. He was the nicest guy in the world. You guys don't understand. And then all of a sudden, a few years later, he renounces his faith and. He kind of went through a really dark journey. Now, I really pray he comes back, man.
Have you seen his documentary?
Dude, I started watching a little bit at my mom's house over Christmas when I was in town, and then I stopped. Bro, here's one thing.
Was it all the peyote? That's every time he goes to a peyote conference or whatever, they're out in the middle of nowhere and he's going into a sweat lodge and everything like that. I'm a Minnesota Viking, right? At 9 years, I used to live in Minnesota. At 9 years old, I met Tommy Kramer and became a hardcore Viking, even at that age. I then moved to Kansas, and you would think, given the fact that the Chiefs have been winning forever, it seems like now 7 years or something crazy.
So boring.
I could have just easily gone to the Chiefs, but no, I'm a diehard Minnesota Viking fan, which is same thing for you. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, I feel like we're more loyalists.
Yes, and I would even say
it's not cool to be a Green Bay Packers fan, no doubt. I mean, it's all right. I mean, you guys are like the cheeseheads. We're skull people, right? It's not even that cool to be a Viking, although it's starting to trend more. It feels like as of later and later years, it's trending. Before I'm talking about like 10 years, 15 years ago.
Okay, so here's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I used to live in Minnesota. I lived there for like 6 months in the year 2000. And, of course, I was amongst all the Viking fans. I worked at a machine shop at the time. And I got to tell you this, man, I really had some sympathy for you Vikings. This is when you guys were really bad.
Yeah, we've been.
You couldn't get it together. And now you guys are out there crushing. And
we still haven't won a Super Bowl, though. I mean, we've been around for 50 years and never won a Super Bowl.
Hey, listen, that's changing. Whoever the leadership is over there, they're doing pretty good. But you got to watch out for those stinking Chiefs, man. Dude, football's getting boring with the Chiefs going there every year. It's literally, it's like, this is boring.
I would agree. I was hoping the Bills were going to go with the other people. Anyway, enough about that.
Let's go Eagles! Are you happy the Eagles won, though? Come on.
Sure. But I mean, I would have rather had the Bills go with the whatever. Pick another, I forget who the other team was that was right there next to the Eagles. Then the Eagles crushed them.
I forgot.
The Lions. Those poor Lions fans, too.
Okay, so Torrin Wells, you need to have him on your podcast if you haven't yet, because that guy's from Detroit. Man, you want to talk about crush? But I was so happy because they crushed my Packers, man. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I was that guy.
Are you still a Packer fan?
What kind of question is that?
Well, you just said I was so happy when they crushed the Packers.
No, excuse me.
So I'm like, I don't quite understand that. I'm not happy when anybody crushes the Vikings.
Obviously, the Lord was correcting my speech because I was ticked how they were. I meant ticked.
Well, they crushed us too.
Maybe
twice this last season.
I was happy when the Eagles crushed the Lions.
Yes, and I was kind of as well. As much as I don't want to say that because but we're all in the same. We're in the same league or the same whatever.
We have the best.
Yeah, we do.
They need to separate us because we all need these Super Bowls with each other.
Exactly. It's too many amazing teams.
Too much winning, man.
Yeah, in the North. All right. So when did you start being a church, singing in church? Not singing, but leading.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the singing because my parents would make me sing in church, and I'm gonna tell you that was not on the calendar. It was not on the schedule. I had no desire to want to be a singer. It was not a thing for me. But with consistent pushing of my parents and being at church with my youth pastor, I had some good support around me because I didn't know I wasn't making good choices. I mean, I wasn't making bad choices, but I wasn't making good choices where my talents were. Is what I meant. I was a good kid. I just had no desire to be on stage singing. But I started worship leading in the youth group, and from there it just kept growing.
Are you from a musical family?
Yeah, that's where Dad and Mom would make. So when we were young, we went to an Assembly of God church, Assemblies of God, and they would make us sing. My mom and Dad would make us sing in front of the church, and so there was, including my parents, there was 8 of us, and we're doing harmonies. It was a big deal. A lot of fighting around the kitchen table, but we put our Sunday's best on when we came to sing.
You were like the Jackson 5 meets the Osmonds.
Yeah, more like the Osmonds and Partridge Family. It was pretty vanilla. Pretty vanilla.
You had 8 of you guys.
Yeah.
Who was playing the banjo?
My dad was playing the guitar, or we sang to a track. That was it.
Did you guys tour too?
Did we do what?
Tour?
No. Thank God, no.
There's not videos out there about your family touring?
I wish there was of just my family singing, but I don't know if we were good or not, but the old ladies in church, boy, they sure loved it. They'd pinch my cheek. You guys did so good. So
where were you on were you the youngest, middle, oldest? You're not the oldest.
I was number 5 out of the 6 kids. And so I was number
You almost were the baby.
Almost, and got no baby privileges. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, fifth.
Almost doesn't count.
Well, was the sixth your sister or your brother?
My sister. Yeah.
And even worse then.
I know. And there was 4 girls anyways, and they all lied to my parents. Okay, I don't want to revisit this moment. You're going to turn into a counselor here. I need to move on. Us boys got it so bad by our parents. They would,
how did you go from being a worship leader to American Idol? At what point in time do you go, I want to audition for American Idol? Where did you get this? Did you look in the paper? Was there a paper back then?
That's so funny.
Or was this, what season American Idol was this?
Season 8, 2009.
Okay, so had you been an avid fan of American Idol, or had never seen it before?
No, actually, so I was newly married to my first wife, and we were.
Are we on like 9 wives now, or are we 4? Have we stopped at 4?
I don't tell the count anymore.
Oh, I mean, because you're a rock star. Let's just say it. Rock stars don't normally get married once, or twice, or even 3 times.
Well, I don't know how to say this or not, but yeah, when she passed away, I had to get remarried again. So there's that.
Sorry. Okay.
No, hey, listen, you can tell I have a healed heart, and it's not a funny, but I did like kind of making you feel bad a little bit.
Yeah, well, you did. I mean, Dylan tries it often, but I just say.
I get away with it.
Well, yeah, she was, and most people, that's the thing. That's how far removed it is. People don't remember that I was married before. So I know I was a semi-truck driver, and a very bad one.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you do? You don't really look like a good semi-truck driver.
Well, and that's the thing.
Were you connecting those things together? Do you have to connect the trailer with the I don't even know the words. What do you call that?
Yes. They call the tractor and trailer.
Yeah, that would make sense.
How many
I've been outside of Kansas for a while.
How many of these trailers are on the side of the road?
Well, not side of the road. Let's ask how many trailers are at the repair shop, because that's really the question.
The trailer or the tractor?
The trailer.
Right, because that's the one that you're running up against other walls when you're trying to turn. How many cars did you? How long were you a truck driver? Is this just for the story, or were you actually a truck driver for more than a year?
Yeah, I just lied and said.
Well, I mean, I could say I was driving tractors and all that stuff, but I really only was less than a year that I was driving tractors.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was actually a true story. So I'll put it this way. We're kind of. There's a few things. I worked at this warehouse. I needed a raise, and they're like, well, listen, if you go get your temps and you learn how to drive a semi-truck, we'll put you behind the wheel. It was this logistics company, and it was mostly warehousing, but they had 2 trucks that would do pickups and deliveries for companies that would store their stuff at the logistics company. Anyways, so I just went to the DMV. I studied the book. I passed it, got my temps. And then, there's a minimum time you have to have your temps. Laws have changed, thank God. And it was 10 days. Well, on the 10th day, I take my test, and I passed my test by 1 point.
Bam!
Well, yeah, bam is correct.
Bam! Literally, bam into a wall. He's going to run into walls. He's going to run into cars on the road. Bam!
It was bam. And I had yolk on my face several times, having to walk in the office and be like, I just ran the trailer into a pillar over here. Oh. I just took out this stop sign. Whose car was that?
Was this on your American Idol story too?
No, because going back to the other story, my wife used to watch
the truck at this point.
Oh, dude, listen, yes.
Dude, your best singing?
I was driving trucks when Mary J. Blige song, but call the radio if you can just be without you, baby. Oh, I would have my windows down. People, I kid you not. One time I pulled up next to the person, they put their window up because I was singing.
That's the opposite of what we're thinking.
Listen, they don't know. Listen, they don't know what opportunity they had in that moment. Now people pay to see me.
That's right. You won 1.2 billion streams. We don't care whether or not they meant to stream it or not. They did it.
Exactly. That person was the first stream, and their first thing was Windows up.
All right. So how you go do American Idol? So was it a long process? How many?
They don't. I don't think they thought a whole lot about me. The show didn't sign me. And so I know. And so another record label came in and signed me. and they had to do it through 19 Records. So I don't think understandably so, they didn't know where I was going. I had a lot of faith that I don't think to them faith just got in the way maybe of what I did. Maybe I'm putting words in their mouth, but that's what it felt like. Faith was a little bit of a hindrance. So signed that record deal. That one flopped. It was 5 years after American Idol I signed the record deal that put me back on the map.
Who was that one with?
That was with BMG. And dude, check out this story. It was BMG had just parted from Sony. They were kind of him to sign me. And the guy's name was Richard Blackstone. He's a legend to this day. Love him. And he looked at Mitchell, and I hadn't met him yet. He goes, Mitchell, I don't know why I'm signing this Danny Gokey kid, but I feel like I'm supposed to. He said, please don't make me lose any money. At least let me break even. That was his confidence in me. And I'm, like Dumb and Dumber, you have a chance. And boy, we took that chance. And man, from that record, I got like 2 platinum songs on that record.
How did
it was a big record.
And touring? When did the touring take off for you?
Well, we toured right after the show, and so
with the show with Idol, like
with Idol, yeah. You signed to a 52 city tour. You have zero idea of how much money they're making off of you because you've never, at that time, I was making like a couple $100 a week driving semi truck.
Right, and well, that's because you were hitting everything. They were probably deducting it out of your paycheck. But
well, we don't want to talk about that part, right? I don't take any blame for that. When they offered us $2,000 a show on the tour, I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Little did I know, you look in hindsight, their whole talent package was 20 grand a night.
Oh my gosh.
For selling out arenas. You understand that the average, that costs talent, you cost a couple $100,000. So anyways, lesson learned. I'm not complaining. You look back, you're like, wow, man.
Was it everybody? Was it like a favorite nations where everybody was getting paid the same amount?
Yes.
Okay, so no matter what agents would say or hey, we want to negotiate this, it didn't matter.
Well, here's the thing, we had no agents. And you know what's interesting about this is they brought in 3 lawyers. They're like, they can be your representation. And man, you know what? Our lawyers
they gave you attorneys.
Yes. They're attorneys who have worked these deals before. And that guy, let me tell you, he knew how to play both sides really well. What a smart, he was double popping. Because we would ask questions, he'd be like, I can go back and ask. It doesn't hurt to go ask. You know what these contracts have been before because you've done several of these. You know what we can get and what we can't get. What a fun experience. This is not me complaining, but I look at hindsight like, dang, I wish I would have knew this. I wish I knew that. But I would do it again if I had the chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't see if it's almost like favored nations. Everybody's just getting $2,000 a week or whatever that was. Like, it's not like you can even. How do you even argue it? What do you unless you're a winner, unless you're the winner and you're mad, and you're so popular. I guess you could negotiate that.
No, I see what you're saying. It's not that. We all could negotiate like $5,000 a show a piece. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
we could have all got at least $5,000 a person per show. More than that, we could have done more. What I'm saying is it's not individually. We were all represented. We were all one. We were all getting because they negotiated this. Listen, all before they knew who the winners were. All before they knew who the top 10. They negotiated just like the top 36 people.
That makes sense. So from there, then you get signed. It takes you said 5 years before you get your massive break.
Yeah.
And then with now, how often do you tour?
Oh man, for a while there, I was touring so much. This last year and this year, I really backed down a little bit because I have kids, I have family.
How many kids do we have? We have 4?
I have 4 kids. Yeah.
Okay.
We got Danny, Victoria, Gabriel, Emmanuel.
They're good
12,
names.
12, 10.
It says together 17. That you love to laugh and you have fun. We
had to say that.
I thought it would. I thought that you guys would not laugh or have fun.
Yeah, we would never laugh together.
All right, what's this new album that's coming out? Looks like you have a Spanish single. Or are you Spanish? Do you speak Spanish?
I speak Spanish, but I'm not Hispanic.
You could maybe have a little Latin flair.
Well, I mean, I did my DNA test. I mean, it was like puro gringo, pure white.
Well, you are from Wisconsin. And you're
No, I'm from Wisconsin. Here's the thing I took that 23andMe, and my wife laughed so hard at me because when you do these tests, it shows like maps like the whole globe where you're from, and she lived all the globe, right? African, Spaniard, Indian, Jewish, and it's me. And then here's the stat that I get. You are 4% Neanderthal, 98% more Neanderthal than anyone who's taken these tests. And I'm like, Mama's like, you're Neanderthal. She was laughing so hard. I was like, what is a Neanderthal? I don't even know what they are.
I mean, Neanderthal. Yeah, I'm sure that I'm like 80, 95% Neanderthal too. I think that just means white and from middle America.
What? Like, do we descend from the Nephilim, like Neanderthal?
I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, is that like? Anyways, I'll rebuke.
All right, so wait, so why a Spanish single? What are we doing there? Are we Latin? Are you married to a Latin woman? Is this why, or like what's happening?
So yes, my wife, her mom came from Cuba, her dad came from Peru.
Oh,
and so she's technically Latina. She speaks Spanish. I speak Spanish. The kids are learning Spanish because my suegros, which means my in-laws, live with me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. Where? In Tennessee?
Yeah.
Are all your in-laws right there behind us? Are we going to see them as soon as you span over? They're all
you see that right there? You see that house back there?
Yes.
That is their place, and thank God for that. Because
wow, it looks like you have a compound going on here.
Well, not really. It's just their house. And my
Are you
house.
in Nashville? Are you actually in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville. Let me turn this back around.
Do we like Nashville? People have always said you should move to Nashville, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Dylan, it's like, we're right next to Warner Brothers over here in Burbank. Not that we live here, but this is where we're at right now. And then I live, I'll just say Calabasas because people know where that is. But it's not Tennessee. I feel like Nashville's been in court, been flooded with people from California. That's where it's coming from.
California, the most beautiful state. The worst policy
backwards.
Ever. If I'm offending anyone, I'm sorry.
Nah, that's okay. I mean, you got a Spanish single coming out, so maybe you should, curve that just a little bit. But it's coming out, and it's streaming on Latin radio. Now, are you thinking that you're all of a sudden Latin just because you're married to somebody who's from Latin America?
Well, I think a lot of people think that about me. I just learned Spanish, and
recently, or just like how long ago?
Just picked it up. I saw I could make a lot of money off of it, so I just quickly. You're
like me and Shakira, very similar.
Well, my first wife was Puerto Rican, so I started learning with her.
Wow. Is it because you're from Wisconsin that you think you should be with Latin American women?
So here's the truth of it. I get bored easily.
Okay, so with white people? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was like,
I feel like that's what he's saying, Dylan.
No, hear me out.
And he's on a show with David White, so
exactly. Look, the White House Pod, Neanderthal, dare to the Neanderthal dream.
Right, live the Neanderthal dream. I think I didn't listen. I just developed a passion for the Latin community. You live in California. You have.
Yeah, I like tortillas, and I like Mexican, and
there's more. I know that. Listen, when I first met my first,
I also like salsa. I'm a big salsa fan.
Well, this is all Mexican, by the way. So you're all referring to all Mexican. There's a lot more than that out there. I get it.
I didn't say Mexican, Latin. I said Latin America, which it encompasses a whole lot of Latin countries.
But tortillas and salsa only embody Mexico.
Well, it is down the street 3.5 hours.
But it's so good. But listen, you gotta have Cuban food. Peruvian food might be the best Latin American food.
Yeah, there's a couple good Cuban restaurants here. All right, you're giving me your last shout out. Tell me what it is that you're going to tell us. We're on the Dare to Dream thing. What are people supposed to do with their dreams? They wake up every day and they got this yearning inside of them, in their heart to go do something. It's not for Mexican food or salsa dancing. What do you tell them?
Si una persona quiere, coger sus sueños, yo quiero que y tiene deseo para aprender español y come más comida mexicano. But all right, I'll stop that right now.
It's okay. We have subtitles going on right now. I don't know what you're saying, but it doesn't really matter.
I will tell you this. God, the Bible says in Ephesians 2:10, it says that we are created to do good works. And they've already been planned out before we came to this earth, right? And so if people are listening, just know this, that God has already mapped out the steps. One of the best things you can do right now is just get connected to your creator. So for instance, what people don't understand, like, if God was the manufacturer, right? Like when my son gets Legos, the manufacturer's Lego, there's an instruction manual that comes with it, right? Well, the Bible is essence. I know this probably sounds too simple, but the Bible is the instruction manual. It has all the answers. So if you're trying to live your life outside of God and live your life outside of the instruction manual, you're going to be very confused and you probably won't connect to the destiny that God has for you. It's like my son getting a box of Legos, pouring it out, burning the instruction manual, and then trying to put these pieces together. It would do nothing but just frustrate him. So I just think that there's something, the simplicity of life and of God is that he created you with a plan and purpose before you got here. It's already written out like that Lego manual. So the idea is like, get close to God. Yeah. Get in the scriptures, find out how things work, find out how you work. Like, the manufacturer knows more about the product than we do. A lot of times we get away from the manufacturer and we get away from the instruction manual and we start living these messy lives. So the dream is get your life in order, get instruction manual, get to the manufacturer. He knows everything about you, what makes you tick, what makes you work, what you like, what you don't like. And he can get you to your dreams faster than you ever imagined, what you were created for.
I love that. Danny Gokey, thank you so much for joining us today. Right.
you guys are fun.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, this was very, very pleasant. And I like how you just were throwing things left and right. It was good.
Thank you for next time you're out in Los Angeles and next time I'm over there in Tennessee. Let's have lunch, though. I would like that.
I'd like to, too.
Right now, flashing on the screen is your new Spanish single that's dropping.
How did you say it?
For me, estaré.
What do you sound like a German. Nein, it's firme estaré.
God bless you, brother. Talk to you soon. See ya.
See you guys.
Wow! I just had my Spanish butchered and judged.
Man. And handed right back at you.
I just slap right back. All right, I got it. I got to take some Spanish classes. Guys, thanks for listening. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And please turn your notifications on if you are not listening to this. And if you're on Spotify, thank you so much for... You can also watch these great videos put on by Dylan's whole crew. And we appreciate you. God bless you and make today a great day. See ya.